What you're about to hear are stories told from each individual, where nothing is off limits. Anything goes. This is Snowman Unfiltered.
It is indeed a Snowman Unfiltered on a Saturday night. And I got some things to talk about and some things to get off my chest. And I know a little bit of my southern twang is coming out. Let me greet some people. Ilongo Savage. Woo! To you and everybody else, including Miss Lolita Gore, Mr. in the house, F Holiday, A Pizzle. Hey, yo. But after listening to Sir Charles Faulkner, there are two subjects I'm going to hit tonight: black men and depression. And do black men deserve the respect of their women, their society, and their country? And I'll answer the second part right now with a resounding hell no. Because I can tell you, no, my dad used to say to me, God rest his soul. My dad used to say to me all the time when I would have a legendary fuck up, I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'm going to attack the depression point in a little bit, but I immediately want to piggyback off of what Charles spoke about. And that is his question of, do black men deserve the respect of their women, their society, and their country? Latina in Cali. What part of California, Latina? Northern or southern? I'll answer that question again. A resounding hell no. Hell no. The first reason I'm going to give is that we have been kicked in the ass so many times over when we thought we were going to get some respect. Screw the achievements, just day to day respect. And we haven't gotten it yet. Not on the front that we need to, not on the front that we deserve. I listened to Charles cut Cynthia G apart piece by piece, and I'm going to follow up with that. You know, once upon a time when Cynthia G appeared on these YouTube streets, and this is one of the few times I will discuss something like this, but I feel this is necessary because not only have I seen it here on YouTube, I have seen it in front of my fucking face. I have seen it in front of my face. I have seen and heard and witnessed black men be disrespected so many fucking times over. Xander with a Z, good evening to you. If you all are feeling generous, and I hope you all are, because I have a goal of $1,000 to raise tonight for this and every other fundraising chat that I do, because I have a mission, and it's hashtag Snow Strong. If y'all believe in what I'm doing, if y'all believe in my content, give me a hashtag Snow Strong in the chat. Give me a woo in the chat too while you're at it. I'm feeling it tonight. Like I said, I'm going to attack this, and I'm going to attack black men and depression because I am a black man who suffers from depression. And going through and you wonder why black men go through depression. You wonder why black men are depressed so often, but so often have to hide it. This is where the disrespect from society comes in. The disrespect from society, not just toward black men, but men, period. You know what, Sig Dicky? You have a great, great point. Why should I care if people recognize my masculinity / manhood when they are incapable of acknowledging my humanity? Man, I couldn't have said that any better. I could not have said that any better. Because the disrespect is real, especially here in the 21st century. The disrespect is so damn real. And, you know, I can make this very, very personal by saying I kicked cancer in the ass on April 4th of this year, thanks to surgery from the folks at IU Med Center, Indianapolis, Indiana. And when I woke up, I saw my wife, my in-laws, and my children. And my brain thought, okay, we're good. We can go back to bed now. We can go back to sleep. Give me a hashtag Snow Strong in the chat from everybody if y'all believe in this and if y'all believe in my content, because I'm going to put more of it out. Because I'm going to get to a point, even during football season, y'all know I love football, that I'm going to do a Snowman Unfiltered fundraising chat each and every night until the goal we have is reached. And even then, I'm still going to keep bringing it. I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to continue to bring it. Let me repeat the question that Charles posed to get us started tonight. Do black men deserve the respect of their women, their society, and their country. In 2 words, fuck no. We could beg for the respect all we want. We could beg for the respect all we want. Are we going to get it? Fuck no. Because that is just how society is catered, not just toward black men, but men, the ones who work hard, those of us who bust our ass every day, no matter what we're doing, whether it's surviving from cancer, whether it's surviving from depression, whether it's going out and working 40 hours a week, whether it's just getting up on a fucking daily basis. You know how many times men get kicked in the ass? Let me go one step further. Do you know how many more times black men get kicked in the ass by society? You know, you got, forgive me, but I'm going to say it real. This is Snowman Unfiltered. And you got bitches like Cynthia G online, Paris Milan, and the like saying black men haven't done any goddamn thing. Bullshit. You heard all the achievements that Charles talked about on his live stream. Now I'm going to attack it from my standpoint with people that I know. By design, and Sick Diggy made so much sense. By design, black people were meant to be the underclass in this society. By design. And men get it worse. Why do I always say take color out of the equation? Because there are some hardworking men in every race, color, creed, religion, and society that don't get the respect that they deserve. Do we want the respect now? Fuck no. Why? We should have gotten it already. It should have been a fucking no-brainer. And yet, I'll name the names again. Cynthia G, I'm looking at you. Paris Milan, I'm looking at you. Chrissy, I'm looking at you, although you want nobody to look at you. And to a point, I understand why. But it's bullshit. It's some grade A homogenized Holstein back-asswards bullshit. That the design was just for us to be mules, pack mules at that. No emotion, no feeling, no chance to talk about it. Been told so many times, only a fool would believe what you would believe. Well, as God is my witness, I am that fool. Somebody put that in the chat for me. Old Snowman says, as God is my witness, I am that fool, and I will continue to be that fool to believe in a dream and to give reality 2 big-ass middle fingers. All 6'5" and 224 pounds of me. Will continue to bust my ass to get back behind the mic doing play-by-play, to deliver straight talk like this for everyone that believes. And you got the perfect name because my blood is boiling. AB Media, good evening to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. And go Colts tomorrow. Telescope 3 in the house. Xander with a Z, F Holiday, Mr. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I suggest that you do. Let's get to 500 subscribers before the end of this month. And then by Halloween, let's get to 1,000 because I want to get this channel monetized. As I said, as God is my witness, I am that fool and I will continue to dream. I'll continue to dare to dream. You know what they told us? You know what they told us black boys in school? Dare to dream. Well, I'm daring, God damn it. Let me ask the black man a question here in the chat. How many times have you been told when you have, let me set it up for you and set it up correctly. When you have been told so many times by black women, mind you, that you have anger issues when all you were at was the breaking point. I'll borrow from a Popeye cartoon. How many times, black men, have you gotten to the point? How many times, men? Hey, Pizzle, I want you in on this too. How many times, men, have you gotten to the point where you have simply said, that's all I can stand? I can't stand no more. And yet you were looked in the eye and told, you have anger issues. Bitch, how do you know this is just anger? How do you know what's inside of this volcano that's ready to blow? How do you know what feelings have been held back, held down, pushed under, shoved under? How many times? How many times? How many times, black men, have you been told you got anger issues when you're just at the edge of a mountain ready to blow sideways? And A Pizzle brings a perfect quote from a Rocky movie. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. That is how winning is done. Well, I'm going to add an element to it. It's time us men got respected for our feelings, no matter what they are, and we get a chance to express them. Latina, I know a young man that works at the grocery store I go to. He was yelling on the phone at her that she hides his kids from him. So sad. And she went to jail for stabbing him. Yes, he is a dark melanated. You want to know what pushes us to the limit? When we're not allowed to be fathers to our children. That's one thing. My father-in-law told me this Friday, and I was just explaining about him not supporting me, but supporting my brother-in-law, which is an officer, and he's white. He said I have anger issues when I was just expressing the point of no support. Been there. Been there. And I must shout out the woman who has been in my corner since day one when I met her 4 years ago. Y'all know her well. I call her Dr. K. It is my wife, Jody. Ilongo Savage, and many of them have the nerve to wonder why some of us just don't F with them at any time or for any reason. I have a story to tell that coincides with that. 2010 was dating a black woman. I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes that cost me 3 weeks of work. I was in hospital for 3 weeks. And at that time, there was a rule at Roseland Hospital in Chicago that I couldn't take my cell phone in with me. I finally get out. She was my first call. You know what this whore said to me? Where have you been? So you finally decided to call. I told her I was in the hospital. Well, you could have told me that before. That was my last straw. That was my last straw. Excuse me. Latina has a response. Stephen, you may have to accept the fact that he wants you to fail so that she will leave you. Boy, that's a feeling I know quite well and am very familiar with. Steven says great content. I'm glad. Let me put this comment up. I'm glad it was put on this channel. I can feel the realness. Look forward to staying in touch with this channel as this was a blessing to me today. Thank you, sir. I have a favor to ask of all of you. If you can, please, I beg of you, help me and my family with a Cash App. I'm going to put this up here. If you can help, please do. That's just one of the reasons I'm doing this. The second, it's time I got real with myself, with the folks I connect with, and continue to connect with. Let me ask these ratchet ass black women something. When you say black men have no achievement, I'm going to attack this from a point that I know very well. Do y'all know who Robert Ford is? Let me tell you who Robert Ford is. Robert Ford is a friend of mine who just happens to be the fabulous radio voice of the Houston Astros, who just happens to be black, by the way. Let me ask these ratchet bitches something. Cynthia G, Paris Milan, and the rest of them, and any of them that come up against us and try to doubt what we do. Do you know who Dave Sims is? Dave Sims is a man who is very dear to me, who just happens to be the television voice of the Seattle Mariners, who has also voiced 2 Super Bowls on Westwood One Radio. Want the common denominator? He's black. You know who Paul Olden is? Paul Olden is a man that I call a friend who is the current public address voice at Yankee Stadium, replacing the legendary Bob Shepard. Oh, by the way, he was the first voice of the Tampa Bay Rays. First major league baseball voice who was black, which led to Robert Ford doing his thing, Dave Sims. I've had so many black women ask me, why do you continue to believe in a dream that won't happen? It's happening. I'll relate this story. One night I was watching a basketball game, Bulls and Nets. I was living with my mom. Excuse me. I was living with my mom. And she asked me who was playing. I said, it's the Bulls and the Brooklyn Nets. And she says, does Jay-Z own the net? She said, isn't that the team that Jay-Z owns? I said, yes, he is a part owner. My mother says, I wish I knew somebody that could make money like that. So I got filled with confidence. I said, Mom, you're looking at him. Know what she did? She laughed at me, walked away, and closed the basement door. Let me ask the men something here in the chat. How do you feel when your confidence is shot to hell by a person that supposedly loves you? I'm going to ask everybody in the chat this question, and I need someone to write this down and put it in the chat for me with the hashtag SnowStrong behind it. How do you feel when your confidence, which was rising 1 minute, is shot to hell the next minute by someone who supposedly loves you? My wife and I shared stories like that, and we've been sharing stories like that since the day we met. Since the day we met. Ain't a goddamn reason why that should be happening, especially to men. Ain't a goddamn reason. And yet it keeps happening more and more and more. I can't tell you before I met Jody how many times my confidence was shot to hell in a relationship by someone who is supposed to love me. Know what I appreciate? One of the things I appreciate about my wife the most when I have a bad moment. Not only will she try to make me laugh, but she'll let me cry like she did earlier tonight. I was having a moment where I thought I wasn't ever going to be doing enough. Ever. I'm serious. I had a moment tonight where I felt I was never going to be doing enough, no matter what it was. I crawled into our bed and I burst into tears. My wife gave me a kiss and she said, "It's going to be okay." She was she was very playful with me. She said, "You're not allowed to have a moment." But see, when she says stuff like that with me, I know it's from a sense of humor standpoint because we both, and I know some of y'all in the chat have too, have had that very sentence said to you in a degrading manner, in a manner that's just supposed to knock you off your feet, in a manner that's not meant to uplift. And that's bullshit. The person you're with is supposed to always uplift you. Are they supposed to keep it real with you? Hell yeah. Jody keeps it real with me all the time. And I'll admit aloud and proud, I've had moments where I was stupid and didn't listen to her. She'll make the joke, see, you need to listen to your wife. See, one of the we have like we've developed 5 rules in the house that we joke with and about all the time. The wife is always right. It's always my fault. The dog is dumb. Chocolate solves everything, and the Indianapolis Colts. Those are the 5 rules. And we both bend the hell out of them because we've had something similar to those rules, especially the first 2, said to us in a degrading fashion. But Jody is my ride or die. I love her for who she is and will always love her for who she is. That's one of the biggest things that men desire. Someone to be there for them and with them through everything. You both work hard to make a relationship work, to make a house work, and to make your dreams work. It again, I've been told so many times over the years, and my wife can tell you the same, that we're not supposed to dream. Only a fool is supposed to dream. As I said earlier tonight, as God is my witness, I am that fool. I always close my morning show with dream big and do bigger, and that's what we're doing here. But I'll repeat a question. And I want to see some answers in the chat. Let me see. Let me see what you all think. Man, how many times has society kicked us in the ass? Well, all we were looking for is a little bit of respect. Mike Biggs Boxing drops a salute. Thank you very much. How many times? How many times has society given us a royal kick in the ass, especially when we're down, which leads to the second point I'm going to attack, which is depression. Depression among men. We have depression because we're told to keep everything inside, just to focus, put the blinders on, and keep going. How many times when you just wanted a hug from somebody, like Jody gives to me all the time and I to her, that you just wanted somebody to say, it's going to be okay. And for the most part, men, we never get it. And Stephen, I know it hurts to have it come from family. Like I told you earlier tonight, I crawled into my wife's arms and I wept. Until her, I wasn't allowed to weep openly, according to the women I dated, because I was just supposed to keep my emotions in check. That's some bullshit. How many times has your mother told you men as an adult, oh, quit crying, it's not going to solve anything? How do you know? It'll help just to get it out. It'll help just to unload it. It'll help just to get it out, which is part of the reason I'm doing this. Which is a big part of the reason I'm doing this and piggybacking off of what Charles spoke about tonight. There is no reason why we can't speak about our emotions. Many, many years growing up, many, many years. It's like, how come? It's like, how come? And I'm relaying this from my family. How come she gets to bitch and whine and moan and yell and cry and cuss, and I can't? Answer I was given: you're a man. You're not supposed to. Simply put, you're not supposed to. Whoever said that lied. It's taken me most of my life to figure that out. It has taken me most of my life to figure it out. And there are some things I'm still figuring out. how much more are we supposed to hold on to? How much more are we supposed to take from society kicking us in the ass, from black women and their attitudes kicking us in the ass, and our country kicking us in the ass? I got declared disabled. Guess what? Not getting any disability benefits. Try that one for size. And as I talked about before, that's not a curveball. That's a fucking knuckleball. Been told a billion times over, all you can do is try. All you can do is try. How about the fact that we do try, and yet we still get kicked in the ass? I know life is not supposed to be fair. I know that. But again, how much more has to happen before we get a break? Before the people around us that have been there with us since day one get a break? I'll open the panel in just a moment because I want to hear. I want to hear from you guys. And when I open the panel, I ask that you come in with audio only, please. I'll say it again. If anybody that's within the sound of my voice and the sound of this podcast is feeling generous, the Cash App tag's on the screen. In case you're listening only, it's $ tall man Dr. K50. What my dad used to say to me all the time, and he's so right about, he would say to me, you can only do so much before you get to a point where you just break. Dear God, I've wanted to break for a long time, and I cannot tell you how many times Jody has let me. My children also. They just let me. We would talk about a familiar subject, and Jody would see the tears in my eyes. She would just say, let it out, honey. Let it out. And I do the same for her. Let's open the panel. Let's discuss the 2 points I talked about tonight. But it's got to come to a point where a man is pushed and pushed and pushed, either verbally, physically, or emotionally. And he just blows. Know what the response is? Most of the time, you have anger issues. I had that said to me. What's up, Victor?
Good evening, Snowman. How you doing?
I'm feeling better now that I'm getting all this out.
That's the general idea, isn't it? Because unfortunately, if you don't, eventually it's going to come out in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It could come out in a positive way, like perfecting your craft, establishing your business,
Mm-hmm.
or it can come out in a negative fashion where you either cause harm to yourself or harm to someone else. And unfortunately, in our society, it still ends up being your fault.
Yeah. Been there, done that too many goddamn times. AB, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, my man?
I felt the need to piggyback off of Charles's points tonight and express a few of my own.
Yeah, like the brother said, it can come out in a positive way where you take that anger and try to build your craft and stuff like that, or you can snap.
Yeah. Lord knows I've had moments, and I can't say a lot of those times where I did snap, I was alone, but there have been a few times where I wasn't. And those few times outweigh the many where I was. Why? Because people were looking. Hey, Sick Diggy, what's up, man?
Okay, hang on a second. Just gotta just check the settings on my phone here for a minute.
You're fine.
We got you.
Yeah,
It is.
I'm doing the best I can to kick this kidney disease in the ass.
You will, partner. It's like someone told me tonight with you and I dealing with the disease. We're kicking in the ass. It's the aftermath. Sometimes it's more emotional than anything else.
hmm Yeah, I had a family member um, tell me that I was going to die just like my parents.
Oh, what the fuck?
Both my parents died from this disease,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to reveal who that family member is, but I will say this much. I went to their funeral 2 years ago.
Mm.
So, for those of you who do believe,
I got to tell you, AB, there were moments I have that same fear because cancer took both of my parents.
mm, yeah, cancer. And the specific cancer you have took my uncle.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest with you, it took me a day to even for it to even compute that he was dead. It took me a whole day just to it didn't even compute that I couldn't call him and talk to him.
Man, there are days where I want to call and talk to my dad. My dad's been gone 15 years. I can't just pull up his number and dial it. Hell, I still
Mhm.
remember it to this day. I will say that Victor was there to lift me up when my dad died.
You needed it.
That was one of the worst weeks of my life. And it's happened periodically where the 12th of June is the anniversary when he passed. That Sunday was Father's Day. And then 8 days later would have been his birthday.
Mm.
When Jody asked me to choose a date for us to get married, the only date I considered was June 25th. Because if there was a person from my side of the family I wanted at our wedding, it was Pops.
Mm.
It was Pops. Because I know he would have appreciated Jody. I know he would have appreciated my children. I know he
Yeah.
appreciated Victor. Victor was over to the house all the time. I mean, hell, Dad let me use this car to pick up Victor when he got stranded. How come men aren't celebrated for being there for each other when we know we need to be?
Uh, to go to every black one because that's not manly. A man is supposed to, I must be getting old because whenever I hear a man supposed to have a black woman's mouth, I was like, shut. Now what the first thing comes to mind is shut the fuck up. I wasn't asking you.
Say that again, please. Please say that again.
Whenever I hear a woman talking about a man supposed to, the first thing that comes to mind is shut the fuck up. I wasn't even asking. You have no fucking clue what a man does. If you had a damn clue what a man, then these little fruity boys would be running around.
Exactamundo. You just want to look at him and just go Samuel on him. I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Half your boys can't even read at an 8th grade level, but you're gonna talk about what a man's supposed to do.
When I get a chance to take, especially lately, when I get a chance to get something from my wife, I do it. I do it because I love her. End of story. There
But
are.
yeah, I reject a man supposed to by a woman like you. Y'all have no damn clue.
None.
None whatsoever. None.
That's why you got all these bitter chicks in my age and younger that are single and miserable.
And then they go spread that poison to other people. Say, oh, don't go for him. Guys like him are terrible. It's like, you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know what I would be.
Why do you think some women do that shit?
Misery loves company.
Yeah, to quote Angry Man's grandmother, some people want a partner to go to hell with. Black
I
ones
love
just
it.
want a whole bunch of people to go to hell with them.
It really comes down to misery loves company. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Same concept.
Yeah. Misery loves a lot of company.
I was watching Kendra and this chick talking about. I kid you not, just came out of this heifer's mouth. I don't care that you work. Why do I have to clean for you?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Let me have that again.
She straight said, I don't care that you work. Why do I have to clean for you? You're gonna have to clean for yourself anyway if I'm not here. I so
Man,
get the ever loving.
Yeah.
My first, and I told Brian the story. My first,
But you got people want to shame these young brothers for getting a passport and going overseas to get and be happy. I ain't gonna do it.
I had a girl that I was seeing when I had my first bout with tendonitis in my foot, my ankle, and I couldn't even get out of bed. It was that painful. First time I
Ooh.
ever dealt with it.
Yeah.
And she came over my house. She made an amazing dinner for me. Brought it home, brought it, to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Would you believe she got shamed by some of her friends, saying, "Why you gotta do that for him? Ain't he a man? Can he do it for himself?"
Oh shit. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's the
Jesus.
second thing I'm getting old on. I don't give a shit what your friends think. But I ain't fucking them. I don't want to hear what they. I don't want to hear their mouth.
Well, here's the
Exactly.
thing. She literally said, "Bitch, what the fuck does what I do got to do anything with you? And why is it
It's
so
truth.
bad that now you can't have that? You can't have you can't do it for your significant other, whether it's a man or a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can't just do something for your significant other." And they were sitting here just telling her that she was being untrue to women, or she was being detrimental to women. I'm like, how the fuck are you being detrimental to women? They're not a collective. It's like men are not a collective.
Amen to that.
We are individuals, and we
Facts.
do
And
things
they want to
differently.
paint and they want to paint us as a collective all the
Exactly.
fucking time.
Brian and I look at some of these dudes today. They don't know what the fuck they doing. No sense of courtesy. No sense of manners. No sense of nothing.
Mm-hmm. No sense of
That I will not
masculinity. Some of them.
that I will not tolerate. Latina and Cali, that's called Battlefield of the Mind. And she's right. Anybody else want to come up and join this discussion? Please do. Links in the chat.
Yeah.
Let me pose this question, and I know there's still some men in the chat that's hanging out with us. Let me pose this question: how many times have you been pushed, prodded to the point where you just wanted to quit?
Plenty of times.
Like I said earlier, how do you feel if your confidence was rising for a minute only to be shot to hell by someone who was supposed to love you? I
I,
can't tell you how many times since my dad died that mom did that shit to me.
that's one thing I have to give credit to both my parents. They have not done that. They have not said that you can't do something or shot me down for what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I came to my mom since she's working the same company that I work at. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was having issues with my productivity, I sat there and I said, I don't know if I can do it. She said, yes, you can. You put what you want to in mind, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She gave me a few pointers. She said, you can do it. I had my goal 3 days in a row last week. Never thought it'd be possible.
Oh, that's gonna continue, man.
Well, it most certainly will.
That's gonna continue.
But you do need that support system. And it is one thing that men severely lack is a support system. And it's not even
Somebody,
their fault.
somebody put that. Somebody put that in the chat, please. What Victor just said.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that men really need is one thing that men severely lack. I beg your pardon. Is a
Yeah.
support system, and it's not even their fault.
No. Again,
What
I go back
Yeah.
to
They. Go ahead.
I go back to how many shelters are there for abused, battered women, and how
None.
many are there for men?
None.
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 In fact, those same centers will not even take men.
They sure won't. Because I sure as hell needed one
Yeah.
in 2015. I sure as hell needed one. What happened? Wound up sleeping in my car for 2 nights.
Had a friend of mine who had something similar. I mean, was dealing with an injury His girl continuously battered him every time because he couldn't do anything to defend himself. He was injured. He was dependent on her to be his protector. Instead, she did the most harm. Couldn't go to a shelter. Why? Well, they told him because 90% of the time it's you guys causing the harm.
Well, there's one person in the chat that was there for me besides Victor, and that's the big dog, Shane Lake. That entire 10 months, I was in his ear, and he was in mine. And when all hell broke loose, first in October of 2015 and then in December of 2015, when I got kicked out of my own goddamn house, and the words that were said to me, get your shit out of my house before I call the police. Like, what? And at that time, I was so distraught that I didn't think clearly of who signed for this shit. Not you.
To be perfectly honest with you, that's why I won't even date unless I'm flipping most of the bill. Fuck this 50-50 shit. I won't even date anybody until I'm flipping most of the bill because I can't tolerate it. I'm not gonna tolerate it.
Well, I got lucky when I got Jody. Very, very blessed and lucky.
Yeah, I know some women, you know, they can be flipping most of the bill and they still treat you like a king, but it's very few and far between.
Very rare. It's very rare. But there are times I can just hear my mother's voice in my head. And what are you doing to help her? Especially since the day since my surgery.
Yeah, there's times I can hear that family member talking to me crazy and in my dreams, and I've gotten to the point I just chase them off. Like, get.
That's what you have to do. At some point, you have to stop letting the ghosts of the past continuously control your thoughts.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. You have people who have been negative to you and treated you like absolute garbage. But you got to remember those people who are there for you and depend on you in a positive manner and are going to support you.
Yeah. I have that now with my family. I have that now with my wife and my children. I have that now. And they know better than I how emotional this fight's been. I had an audio blog once upon a time, and thank you, Shane, for this reminder. I think, Victor, you remember this too. I had a blog one time called My Life in Two Bags.
Yep, I do.
Because I got kicked out of a house in Michigan City because I was preventing the woman living there from getting fucking financial assistance when I was trying to do the same. She dropped me at the shelter, and everything I had was in two bags. My equipment, my clothes, everything. No, but the best part about the end of 2000, the tail end of 2017 were the 5 days I spent in Memphis, Tennessee, calling baseball. I had a chance to get freshened up. I had a chance to do laundry. I had a chance to do all that stuff. I am also happy that I finally, the wounds on my feet have finally healed after 4 months.
That's good to hear.
So I can start really strengthening my legs again. Because when I ran an errand tonight, I found myself gingerly getting out of the truck And I questioned that. I said, why am I so gingerly getting out of my truck? Yeah, oh yeah, that would be why. I don't have all my strength back.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Some days I have to remember that. I have to remember I don't have all my strength. And what AB, what'd you say earlier in the evening? Sometimes family can be the worst.
Yep. I've experienced that firsthand.
So have I. So have I. Because my mother told a friend of hers when he told his girlfriend that I was a sports announcer, a radio announcer, her retort to him, and I quote, "Oh, please, he's nothing but a wannabe." Night after Christmas. Night after Christmas,
Mhm.
2013. 18 years of blood, sweat, tears, and heartache. At the time, 18 years.
Mm.
And it felt like it was shot to hell in an instant.
See, unfortunately, I could tell your mom was a person of instant gratification,
Mm-hmm.
and that's unfortunate because a lot of people are like that. If I
Yeah.
don't see it, it
Unfortunately.
ain't real.
Mhm.
Like they don't see the effort, they don't see the trials and tribulations, they don't see the days when you get up and you're trying to push forward. They just see if it ain't there, I don't think it's happening.
And you know what gets on my nerves about that? Thank you, Victor, for that. She didn't see. My dad did. Victor, you did. Hell, you helped me prepare. She didn't see all the preparation I put in to do my game notes, to record my interviews, to record the commercials that I had with the sponsors that I had, the intros, the outros, the time clock I would type up,
Mhm.
getting the music down.
Hence the reason I refuse to talk to some of my family members about me doing YouTube because I know them. They're gonna you tell them something and they're gonna pretend they know everything about it. They have
Yep.
no fucking clue what it takes to render a video
Mm-hmm.
or to cut that video up, put your intro and outro
Yep.
on a video, how to clip in text, how to clip in special effects. Have
Mm-hmm.
no clue, but are gonna try to sit there and
Then
dictate
trying to
how I
tell,
do something like that. I'm just not. I'm not having it.
I'm not either. And Shane's ridden shotgun with us also. I have two producers, Cole Johnson and Shane Lake. Victor was my
Like
engineer for
you don't know enough. You don't know enough to talk to me about how to build a web page or a website. If
man.
you
Victor
can't
has
tell me
been
what server it runs on, I don't want to hear your
right.
damn mouth. If you can't tell me
Uh,
if you're running on Windows or Linux or a
mm-hmm.
Mac, depending on what your server is, you can't talk to
Exactly.
me. I don't care
Man,
what service you're using.
I've had Victor be my audio engineer for 16 years. 16 years Victor was my audio guy, especially when we were on site. Let me tell this story. I had to go out of town. I had to go out of town. I was living in Chicago. I had to go out of town, but I had a championship game to cover. My first
Hmm.
call was to Victor. And the first thing Victor said to me was, "What'd you need?" I said, "There's a CPL championship at DePaul, and I need you to be there."
Hmm.
Do you know they turned him away? I told Victor not to call me unless it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Dog, you are the super producer. The Dark Knight, LaShawn Encarnacion. The Dark Knight connected Shane and I. When Victor called me that Saturday afternoon, and all I had to hear him say was, "We got a problem." I'm like, "What kind of problem?" And when he explained what was going on, I said, "You tell them to call me right now." They, they never called.
Mm.
Folks in charge never called me. And they know me. When I got back to town that Monday, I marched right in their office and let them have it. And I told them, this was 2004. I told them, don't expect us to be there to cover an event unless you're paying us or unless we get free access to the media room like you promised before, like you promised my partner who had to fly solo because I was scheduled to be out of town. They got touchy about that sort of thing, but I don't care.
Yeah, I'm about to drop off, so man.
Okay. Thanks for hanging out with us, AB.
Sure, no problem. Have a good night, brother.
Thanks. You also.
Excuse me.
It's all right. I think I'm going to go ahead and crash myself. Victor, thanks again.
No, never a problem, man. Never a problem.
I appreciate you, Victor. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate you as well, man.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, brother.
I am at the wall, physically and emotionally. And I might do one tomorrow. I'm thinking about it. But we will see. But for now, I'm going to step away. I'm going to let my body rest. I'm going to let my brain rest. And again, if you're feeling generous at any time, just drop us a cash app to help the family. And that is very much appreciated. Thank you, Big Dog. I can't wait to have you. I cannot wait to have you. Thank you, F. Holiday. I'll say it again. If any of y'all can help with the cash app, that would be appreciated. And that's the tag that you need. But right now, I'm about to go crawl in my wife's arms and cry some more and get some more emotion out. And thank you guys for hanging with me. I really, really appreciate it. I got a lot out tonight. I'll get a lot more out tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
Thank you for tuning into Snowman Unfiltered, where anything goes.